In this episode, we're featuring the third and final phase of our Barndominium metal roofing project. Hey Dave.
Hey.
So what's going on? What are you working on?
So I'm taking the rack that we used on the other side and I'm trying to rig it up to use it on this side of the barn. So what I've done is I've taken a couple miscellaneous pins and pieces and I'm welding up a fixture to hold the rack that holds the sheet. So hopefully we can lift it up there, have it at the right angle and get it where we want it to be. So just trying to use all the stuff that we have laying around and not waste any good steel on a dream. So that's what I'm working on. So I've got it all tacked up. We're going to raise it up. We're going to take some measurements of distance and height, see if it matches the pitch of the roof. The roof's a 612. I don't want it to be exact. I want it to be a little bit steeper. That way when it comes up over the edge, it's a little higher. It kind of helps to keep this leading edge from snagging on the insulation. We kind of learned that on the other side. So anyway, let's get it up in here and see how it works out. So we've got it over here. I'm swinging around a little bit. And I think that's going to work. I don't have much more room to. So usually what we try to do is put it to where it just catches the edge. And then the machine will settle down and we'll pull the sheet on up. So I think that'll work. Oh yeah, so it's a little out of square with the roof, so that's good. That gives me a little room to pull back this direction. I think it's all gonna work. I think it's all gonna work really well. So it worked well on matching up the roof. I think it's gonna work just fine. I'm gonna go ahead and finish welding it up and we'll make sure we got it complete and we'll put it away, use it tomorrow. So I think that's about got it. It's kind of cobbled up, but that'll work. And so I just need to find a bolt to hold the whole fixture on the pin and maybe a couple washers so it'll pivot easy. And I think this project's done.
The first sheet is always a little more challenging to get on because you don't have that sheet next to it to roll it down, and so getting the first one on is a little bit more challenging. Man, Dave's having a heck of a time getting this first strip of insulation on with the wind and everything. So what's the plan?
Well, I've got some insulation up on the roof and I want to get a piece of steel up there in case it rains, or not rains, but gets windy. Supposed to be a little bit of gust come in tonight, so I want to get that insulation covered up. Don't have to make a big project out of it, just get one piece up and that'll be enough to hold it. So that's what we're doing today.
Alrighty. Each time we start a new area of the roof, it seems like the first panel takes a little bit of time to get it up because we're making adjustments and getting in a routine. It's taken a little bit to get this one up.
So I think I'm going to hang a chain on this, give us a little ballast so that it doesn't swing up so high when we take the sheet off of it. So the first sheet's on, we'll square it up a little bit, get all the screws in it, and start getting prepared for the second sheet.
So on the first panel, we were trying to each be on opposite sides and get it to go up smoothly, and that wasn't working very well, so we're going to try a different approach with us both being on the same side of the panel this time, and it seems to be working a little better.
It seems like when we changed sides that it made it more difficult to slide them up there for some reason, so hopefully we adapt and are able to get them up there comfortably. And to go along with that, you're always kind of fighting the breeze. Even though it's not very much, you can see the trees moving a little bit, and man, it just makes a nightmare getting these sheets up.
Now we're getting our rhythm. Panel number 3 is going up very smoothly. So what we figured out with the insulation is that if we fold it, we can fold it so that it puts more weight when it's coming down, and so the wind doesn't catch it as easily, and that's made it a little better to work around, and seems to be working a little bit better now since we've started doing that, so it's helping. It's one of my jobs to have these folded and the next one ready to go up while Dave is screwing down the panel that we've just put up.
By the time it gets around to afternoon every day, the wind's picked up, and getting the insulation on is a drag. We've tried all sorts of different ways of getting it up there, and it just, you know, once that wind gets above about 10 miles an hour, it's just pot luck if you can get it up there without having a bunch of trouble. constantly having to bob around all the truss supports and around the trusses to be able to get in a spot where we can reach out over and get all the screws in without having to get up on top of the roof. But it's working out real well. One of the things we're doing on this side is we're trimming the panels to the proper length. On the first side, we just went ahead and put them up. Thought we'd trim them while we did the ridge, but that's going to prove to be a pain. Wish we'd cut those to size first too, but we didn't. But we'll figure it out. We'll get them trimmed.
So all of these panels are about 6.5 inches too long, and so we're just cutting off 6.5 inches of each one of them. I'm not exactly sure why they didn't cut them the right length from the company that we bought. Anyhow, they didn't. We had some electric shears, but they're in storage right now, and so not sure exactly where they're at. So just cutting them by hand. Of course, Dave can do this a lot faster and easier than I can, but that's why he's up there screwing all those screws in. So we want to keep moving forward and get this roof on, but there's several days that the wind has just really caused us some trouble getting this insulation on, and today's one of those days.
climb up out of the bucket every time to be able to reach both rows of screws that I'm doing at the same time and to be able to reach the far one. So it's a lot of up and down, in and out of the bucket.
So we're at the halfway point on the south side of the roof, and so at this point we're going to have to move the RV so that we can get the excavator over there, and so that's what we have to do, take a break and get it out of the way.
So I think I've got enough reach on the excavator to get the rest of the roof without the sewer line and electrical line getting in the way. What do you think?
Looks good.
Are you ready?
Yep. Can we go up anymore?
Well, we could, but I don't want to.
Okay.
Because that's what makes it hit the things when we start pulling it up. I think that's the only one that's real high. I think. Really not as bad as it looked like it was going to be, did it? Okay. We put a piece of duct tape over the leading edge to help keep from snagging the insulation as we slide them up. We're coming in the home stretch. We got about 12 feet to go, something like that, so we're getting close.
think Dave's having fun swinging it back and forth. It's getting exciting. We're down to 2 more pieces and a partial. Yeah. Coming up next, we will be installing the radiant heat flooring in preparation for the concrete pour.